Well, today we're going back to 1956. With me is John Marlow. If you don't know John, well, you haven't been in Front Royal very long. John has been our mayor. He's been, you name it, John's done it. He's worked with everyone in town. He has Marlow Motors in town, so I think everyone sees your name, John. We're here at a class reunion, the 65th class reunion of the class of 1956.
That's correct.
Prudy Matthews puts this on every couple years, 5 years, they say, but I think it's just an excuse to have a party. So we're talking to a few people like yourself, people that we see around town and no one knows who is that. They see you talking to everybody, so we want to find out who John Marlow is, but also more about 1956. You really weren't part of this class. You were the class of 1957.
That's right.
So tell us what it's like in 1957, 1956.
Well, 1957, first was Warren County's only undefeated untied football team.
And you were on that.
And I was on that team. And that was quite an experience. And we had a good class. But I was fortunate enough to be doing pretty well in school, and I took English with this group a year ahead. And so I was in a class with a bunch of the class of 56, and I, of course, played ball with the boys because we were athletes together.
Yeah, I see your picture at the Warren Heritage Society in your football uniform.
Oh,
so
okay,
you were some football star. Well, now, don't be modest. Tell us.
Well, I was fortunate enough to play on a very good team, and later I went to the University of Virginia on a full scholarship, and I was co-captain of their football team.
There you
so
go.
I have a wonderful football experience.
Yeah. So what was Front Royal like in 1956, 57?
Well, it was a lot different. One, we had a big employer, American Viscose. And if you were to visit most of our classmates, you'd say, what do your parents do? They'd say, well, they work at Visco.
Right.
And because that seemed to be where most of the people worked.
3,000-4,000 people worked
At
there.
one time they did,
Yeah.
yes. And it was a major employer. And for a lot of people, if you finished your 10th, 11th grade, and if you wanted, you could go out there and get a job, and you made good money, and you pretty well had a career.
Right.
And that worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I was also mayor when it was closed.
Yes, so. I can remember those. It doesn't seem like it was that. It was quite a long time ago, but it just seems like yesterday.
I know, and that was quite an event also for this town. It was very traumatic because a lot of people, as I was describing, had worked there 20, 30 years or so, and that was their whole life. And then one day it's gone.
Right.
And what else can I do? They really weren't trained to do anything except work at the plant. Now they've got to develop and discover a new life.
And then when it was closed, was really the best it ever was. You know what I mean? It was the cleanest it ever was, and all of a sudden, that was political. But we won't go there and talk about politics.
That's right. The lady who, well, we won't go there. Okay.
We all know.
Yeah.
Those of us in the know. But it's hard to get a major employer like that nowadays to come to a small town. I mean, that was something.
It was, and it was a big event when we were able to attract and get DuPont to come. That was part of the first major industry to come after Avtex had closed, and that was a big plus for this community.
Right.
Then the inland port, and now that we have had a lot of success. The EDA, technically, really it's the IDA, but to call themselves EDA, has done a wonderful job of attracting industry. And of course, the last couple of years has been very bad for them. But I think they are back on their feet and ready to take Warren County and Front Royal to a better future and to advance us again economically.
They say in real estate it's location, location, location. Everybody says we have the location.
We do.
We got rivers, we got interstate, we got
railroads.
We got railroads.
We got
an inland port, and we have broadband. We're just waiting for that little something to kick us over the edge. So what do you think? Are we going to maintain our small town charm going forward?
For a while.
For a while?
And how long that while will be, I'm not sure. There's a lot of pressure coming from the east, and this pandemic has only exacerbated that growth because a lot of people have moved out here. They find they can live in Warren County, work remotely, maybe visit the city occasionally, but they can live here. This is a whole lot better living than living in the metro area.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see increased more rapid growth.
Yeah, yeah. So back to 1950s. What do you miss from that era?
Oh my goodness.
Probably nothing, right?
Well, no, and we had really wholesome relationships. We had friends who looked after each other and really respected each other, and it was a very special time, and a time that I doubt will ever come again.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful time to grow up.
You watch a TV show like Andy Griffith, but that was what it was like.
It was.
It was just like that.
Yeah.
Neighbors looked out for neighbors and people and community. We had community. Our families weren't so mobile. That's the thing. So what's in store for John Marlow going forward?
Well, for me, I still go to work every day. My daughter runs the dealerships, and I'm there to advise her. We still have some real estate interests that I'm more involved in, and I plan to work as long as I can. It's something that I feel like I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in what the community, how it can develop, and I would like to participate in trying to do some good things for the community.
That sounds like you're campaiigning to be mayor again.
No, for sure.
That's once in a lifetime thing, isn't it?
The best term probably as mayor. We got a lot done. The gazebo, the main street. We did some things in the business end of the town that people didn't know about, but were very, very beneficial.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. We had a good council. I was telling people a little earlier tonight. We'd go into meetings and the council would say, "What's good for Front Royal?" That's what we would do. We didn't argue. Our meetings lasted about 45, 50 minutes, and we were out. And we get on to do the next good project.
Yeah. Well, I don't see. I don't play golf anymore. No one wants to play with me because I play with a 1-iron.
Okay.
And if you play golf, that's not something that the average golfer uses.
That's true.
That's all I carry. One club.
One club.
So I haven't played in a while. But so what do you plan on doing? I know you're like me. You work. That's your hobby.
I do, and I have family. I have grandkids. I'm very interested. I have a grandson that's at Randolph Macon Academy, and I've got 2 others that are coming along a little younger. I'm very interested in seeing how they grow up, and they're a big part of my life now.
Well, you mentioned we had major employers, but Marlow Motors is not a slouch company. You have a lot of employees.
We do, and we're in 3 locations. We will, I think next year is our 75th anniversary, so we've been here for a while.
Did you ever think it?
No. When I University of Virginia graduate in the service, I got out of the service. I did not unpack my suitcase for a long time. I had no idea that I was going to stay in Front Royal. My parents wanted me to come home. I wanted to be somewhere else.
Exactly.
But I'm still here.
Isn't that what everyone wants to do? They want to leave, but I notice they come back.
That's right.
They come back. And I said, well, you can come back as long as you don't move in. You mentioned you were in the service. So what do you think today? Now in the news, we're talking about we're withdrawing our troops and stuff, and that seemed like the big word this week in the news. And people like from your generation or even that have served are really disappointed.
We are. The last few weeks, and yesterday especially, is very, very depressing and very discouraging. The veterans, I was there during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Fortunately, I didn't see combat,
right.
But we knew what could happen, and it wouldn't be good, but we were ready for it, and you're ready to do what's necessary. You don't question it. And to see what's happening today, it's sad for our country and sad for our relations with the different countries around the world, because we're losing credibility that's going to take a long time to recover.
Yeah. Well, anything you want to say to people at Front Royal that's going to be positive and uplifting and encouraging for going forward? Because you've been here forever. We won't say how old you are, but
Well, I don't mind. I'm 82. So we live in the greatest community in the most beautiful place in the world. We have a national park, the mountains, we have the 2 rivers. We just have so much natural beauty, and we have such an opportunity to make this community something really special that it's a great place to live. And I look forward to the future.
Well, now when people see you at LD's, because you do go there from time to time for breakfast, I see you and your wife. They're going to come up to you now and say, "I'm so and so because I seen you on the World Examiner. Now I know who you are."
They will.
John Marlow, we appreciate everything you do in our community, and it's great to talk to you.
Thank you, Mike.